Mr. Speaker, I'm honored to be here today to introduce my amendment, H.R. 9, the Climate Action Now Act. My amendment takes into consideration the various populations, regions, industries, and communities affected by climate change, while reducing any possible impacts on American jobs. We all know that climate change has impacted countries, communities throughout our country and the world. Over the past few years, we've seen the devastating effects on the waters of the Caribbean Sea, fueling powerful storms like Hurricane Maria, which devastated Puerto Rico and took the lives of close to 3,000 people, and displacing another 300,000 from their homes. In my home state of California last year, it led to the deadliest wildfire season in history. And according to the National Climate Assessment, rural communities, like the ones I serve, face challenging obstacles in responding to climate change because they're so highly dependent on natural resources. My constituents, the people of California's Central Valley, live in one of the most economically distressed parts of our country. Been forgotten and left behind. But it is my constituents who have seen the direct impacts of climate change with our recent heat waves and droughts. And it's only going to get worse if we don't work together and address this issue head on. H.R. 9 is the first step we must take in addressing this challenge, and this would prohibit federal funds from being used to take any action in advancing the withdrawal of the U.S. from the Paris Agreement. The U.S. committed to joining the Paris Agreement because we're a leading nation, and it's unfortunate that this president is taking us backward. Instead of fighting climate change, the president and this administration have proposed to slash funding from the Department of Energy's efficiency and renewable energy offices by over 85%. And they even proposed to cut energy funding from our states. My amendment would help create a clean energy economy that would provide good-paying jobs to millions of Americans, cleaner air for everyone, and a safe, sustainable future for our children and grandchildren. What we continue to hear from our Republican colleagues is that a number of coal jobs will be taken away from Americans. And I can tell you, as somebody who's worked in the mining industry, who has worked underground, I know it's not the way to go. And while we know that mining jobs and underground jobs are honorable jobs that provide for families, at one time so was whaling. But we need to be innovative and looking towards the future. The more time we waste on clinging to jobs of the past, the more time we waste in making progress. Nationally, there are over 240,000 jobs in the solar industry alone, and only about 53,000 coal mining jobs. And reports find that the Paris Agreement would create and generate over 24 million jobs worldwide. In the state of California, we have over 519,000 clean energy jobs. And it's critical, more than ever, that we continue to connect workers to jobs, these jobs that we're creating for the 21st century. My amendment does just that by requiring any climate plan to consider the impact on jobs, wages, and pay. And we have the opportunity to be global leaders in the clean energy economy, ensure that so many of these jobs are created right here in the United States, not in other countries, not in India, not in China. And we cannot afford to take steps back in the fight on climate change. And we must keep our word to the rest of the world. So I urge my colleagues to support my amendment, and I yield the balance of my time.